So can you see the slides coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So welcome to the March Tableau user group. We just have to change. So I hope everybody will be fine next couple of days. My message that I always put out at the front is, if you're listening, don't hesitate to make yourself to talk at the talk, the user group. It's very casual. There's an agenda, but you can be simple as just sharing a simple Tableau trick or sharing a story or something a bit more complex or showcasing the dashboard like Andy's doing. And when you talk, see what can happen. Xenia was talking with a group. Was it October, November? I can't remember. And then I guess she got spotted by Marco and then got the job. So congrats, Xenia, for joining Marco's bunch. I think that's really exciting. I also would like to open the call by just acknowledging the traditionals of the land we stand today and pay our respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Also extending the respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that we're here today or watching the recording later. Just a few quick plugs. San Diego, so for people that haven't been to a Tableau conference, that's happening in April this year. It's an amazing opportunity to network and meet up new folks. So a few of us are lucky enough to go or pay several expenses, but I think it's really worth the investment. So I think it's probably the best networking opportunities I've came across. I've been there once only last couple of years. And it's really an amazing experience. So if one day you're considering going to a Tableau conference, Sam has been a few times. Andy will go soon, myself. So I think there's a few of us that are Mr. Keys as well. I don't know if he's online, but there's a few people that have been to the Tableau conference. It's really amazing. I also like to plug Visit Sydney, which is going to happen again this year. So you can scan the barcode. So it's a free Tableau conference, community-led. So I'm the organizers with a few of us. Alex, I don't know if you know those people, Kimberly from Melbourne, Jacob from Sydney. And it's really organized by us. So it's a free conference in Sydney in the Salesforce Tower. And Andy, Sam, I've talked last year, Marco came as well. It's a really good opportunity to just talk and practice your public speaking skills and also meet new people as well. So it's happening in Sydney, early June. I've got a blank. I think it's the 4th of June from memory, 4th and 5th of June. So over the couple of days, but it's completely free. I also like to plug part of the Tableau conference. There's a bit of tradition to organize what's called the Visis. So that's organized by one of the community folks, not by Tableau, but it's a bit of a fun awards. So if you feel you could nominate maybe the Brisbane tag, because if you scan that, I can put the link in the chat later. There's a few categories. So there's growth, biggest growth, beginners. There's the user group. So we can nominate. I've nominated Brisbane tag, but there's a bunch of other categories. It's a bit of a fun process, but it's always good to get some recognition. So moving on to the agenda. Obviously, when I'm presenting my screen, I don't see the chat. So if you have questions, and Andy and Asraful, you can see the questions. So maybe you can just interrupt if people have got questions.
Yeah, sure.
Cool, thank you. So in terms of agenda, I'm going to demonstrate Tableau Agent, maybe in 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. A few folks were interested to see Tableau Agent, which is one of the new products that Tableau is delivering. Andy is going to showcase 8 dashboards, the personal dashboards, and show us a few techniques. And Asraful is going to show us a few geographic drill down techniques and mainly around mapping. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, but what I want to show you today is what's called Tableau Agent. I don't know if any one of you have used Tableau Agent. It's a brand new product that just is still in beta. I think it's not even live. But basically, it enables users to create calculations and charts using natural language prompts. So plain English prompts. On the right hand side there, I'm going to do a live demo so you see. And then if you have prompt you want me to try, you can write them in the chat, and I can try to put them in the system and see if it works or not, or even email them to me. But if you're familiar with ChatGPT, Claude, and all those AI, it's very, very similar, except this one is really embedded into the Tableau ecosystem. So let's see. So I'm gonna maybe stop sharing that and bring my browser window. Can you see my screen or not anymore? No, I've stopped sharing. Let me try again. So what I'm planning to do, because I think that's one of the shortcomings with Tableau Agent, is at this stage when you try something, it doesn't actually remember the prompt you've entered. So I've got a bigger cheat sheet and just basically wrote some basic prompt there, just as a guide, and I can share that sheet if you want to give it a try. But for example, this one, the way it works, I don't know if you're all in Tableau Cloud, but it basically works off Tableau Cloud. I believe you need also to be on Tableau Plus. I think it's an add-on. So I'm on Tableau Cloud. It's not a work install because Tableau Agent is not enabled in our work at release. So I'm lucky enough to have access through the Tableau community as ambassadors, where you can basically, as a sandpit, have all those bits and pieces, bells and whistles, new technologies there. But basically, you just need to have a data source on your Tableau Cloud server. So I've got a Superstore dataset. If people are familiar with Superstore, it's like Tableau's own data source, like fictitious store, almost like Officeworks, that we all use for trading purpose. I've slightly modified the data source, but it's that simple. So in the real world, you'll be able to connect to your own data. Obviously, I can't because it's an external site. It's not work one, so it has to be a dummy data set. So that's on my Tableau Cloud, and then the way it works is basically I'm doing that through the web, not desktop. It's probably easier. I'm just going to create a new workbook. So if people are familiar with the Superstore, you'll recognize the usual dimensions and measures. It's got sales, quantity, profit, and so on, and a bunch of categories, subcategory, region, some client segments, and stuff like this. So Tableau Agent is actually hidden away there on the right-hand side. So we click on the top right corner. I let the thing wake up, but basically that's it. It's ready to go. Got it. It just explains that it's going to do some charts, and then you start typing your questions there or your prompts. So it's that simple. So in theory, it's quite interactive and quite fun. We've done some testing at work as well, and Sam and I did a lot of testing. It's very good for beginners and intermediate Tableau users. Obviously, if you want to create very complex calculation, the tool is not there yet. But I'm quite optimistic. I think it's getting better and better every day. Every release, they're adding new features. So that's quite interesting. So I don't know if you got prompt, but I can try to, based on my prompt there, I'm just going to copy and paste. I could just tab them up, but for purpose of the time, and go there and just generate a trend line showing sales per week. it's a bit of a hit and miss, but I think it's quite fun. You'll see that Tableau Agent takes a few seconds to wake up and to crunch the data. So in theory, you don't need to drag and drop fields, dimensions, and measures to the Canva as we do with Tableau Desktop. It does it for you. So you see that it just created a trend line. So you can see fiscal week. That's a date field I've got in my dataset, which was part of the slightly modified version of the Superstore, and it gave me sales. So you could say that the tool gave me a kind of okay chart. Yeah, I mean you can see it didn't put any labels, didn't do any coloring, but as a very simple prompt, it's quite good. And you go, give me more ideas. So you can click on suggestions there, and then the agent would drill down or look further and suggest other things you can add to the chat. So there you can see, I don't hope you can see on the screen, it says add category as a color mark, include channel as a detail, add a filter for customer life segment. So you can see it's quite good. And now as you click on one, it's just thinking. And then that's it. You'd think that's probably not best practice to have a bit of a spaghetti colors there. It's quite hard to read. So best practice can be debated, but it's just a very quick demonstration that you can do a very simple chart very quickly using just text-based. And I think you can also add more. So for example, can you add labels? I don't know if it's best practice either, but you can do that, and then Tableau Agent would basically crunch and then add more detail to the viz. So it gets the very basic prompt. See, it just added labels. I don't think you can format those as cells, so you'd expect to have dollar signs and maybe Ks as opposed to the 5-digit. So I don't believe it can do that. But as a very basic chart, so imagine like a brand new Tableau user might want to just dig into the data set, and might find that quite useful. And obviously, best practice is to have just rename your sheets and create a new one. So as I said, one of the shortcomings with Tableau Agent is if you save your workbook or publish it on your cloud, the history of the charts doesn't come up anymore. It disappears. I'm not sure why. So I think that's probably a thing to keep in mind if you want to use Tableau Agent. You probably need to document the prompt, and you know which one works better or which one doesn't. Sometimes the thing gets commonly wrong. So I'm just going to create a new sheet. Up a new one. I'm not going to do that too long because you get the idea. I just wanted to do a quick demo. And if you have any Andy or Asraf, is there any suggestion or prompts ideas in the chat? I can check.
No, but, nothing at the moment.
Nothing. Cool. So now my prompt was generate a highlight table showing sales per month per region. Yeah, you'd see that's not really a highlight table. You just give it some random marks. You can also change that in there, but you saw that Tableau didn't quite work it out. You basically have to manually change the way the chart was displayed. But it's pretty good. I don't know if anyone else tried Tableau Agent, but I bet in next few months the tool will get better and better. I'm just adding something else and playing with it. So if you want to try Tableau Agent, I believe you can sign up to Tableau Cloud Trial, and I think Tableau Agent comes with it. But don't quote me on that. As I said, I'm lucky to have access as an ambassador to have a testing sandpit. But if people just want to try, I believe you can. I've seen that in the slide somewhere. If you sign up to Tableau Cloud Trial, you you'll have access to Tableau Agent. The last prompt I included was to add a filter, and going down further and further. I mean, I wouldn't use that for work currently because it's not powerful enough. But you can also do calculations. You can ask the system to create profit ratios, for example, sales profit ratios, and so on. You can create LODs as well. One other thing that I've noticed that doesn't quite work is when you want to compare, show me the sales this week compared to the same week last year, for example. That kind of quite complex period over period or week over week comparison. The tool gets confused, but I think that's part of the agenda to improve that. So that's what I wanted to cover. I don't want to spend too much time on it because when you try once, you get it. You just get to use it. Any questions from anyone? I'm up if you're keen to try Tableau Agent at some stage and you're kind of stuck. I can send you the list of prompts and you can get a quick start. But that's what I wanted to cover. Just watching. Any question from anyone? If you've got a question, I can turn them back on as well. If not, Andy, over to you. Or Asraf, whoever. I'm happy. Whatever wants to talk next. Andy, you want to talk next?
After you, Andy.
Sure. Yeah, I can do. Absolutely, no problem. Okay. Hopefully you can all see that. Fantastic. So I guess to kind of give you a little bit of background about this and where this came from. So my work right now doesn't involve an awful lot of Tableau. So just to kind of keep my hand in really and to kind of wash the bad taste out of my mouth of the product I am using, and no, it's not Power BI. I spent some time over the Christmas break kind of working on a personal project. My wife, who's an financial accountant, she takes care of all of our household finances, and she likes to try and keep me interested. So she gave me a look at her spreadsheet that she uses, and that was really kind of a way of her goading me into creating a Tableau dashboard, because it was an accountant's spreadsheet, and yeah, I had some data and I wanted to do it, and so I fell into the trap. This session really, I'm not going to walk in great detail in terms of like how I've done what I've done. I'll touch on a few things, but it's really just to, I guess, bit of a showcase, but also just encouraging you to, to try things, to have personal projects. I know that's something it's definitely that kind of Fred does as well. Either whether it's related to the biz for social good stuff he does, or whether it's just personal projects that he does for Tableau Public. But I think it's really important to kind of keep learning, keep developing, and sometimes you might find that you don't have the opportunity at work to work on things you want to, so have a personal project and kind of have it a go. And this is kind of where this kind of came about, really. So I guess kind of starting with what this is, as I say, my wife kind of looks after the account. She wanted to kind of have a look at net worth. Before I start, just making very clear, these are dummy numbers in this version. They're not the actual numbers, just making that really clear. I do have a version that is our numbers, but this is the version that I shared on Tableau Public and things, and so it's dummy numbers. And so I started really with kind of having these boxes at the top, in the top left there. So the kind of the first place people look when you look at a visualization. Usually it's kind of the total. I've got the number there, nice and prominent in terms of the main number. I've got a bit of a spark line to show what the trend is, and I've got extra information I've included there in terms of what the percentage change is, and then also absolute change, but both month over month and year over year. And then you'll see I've got that for some main categories as well. So superannuation, share investments, bank accounts, and other categories. And then also at the top as well, just to kind of give us an idea of the relative size of each, rather than having to think about the numbers. And kind of work out the sizes. I've just got that chart with a breakdown just to kind of show the relative sizes as well over here. Underneath that then, I've got two similar charts. One's a trend line. So the first one, the big one, and then one is a percent of total. When it comes to looking at something like this, I prefer to use a chart like this rather than, you could have used it, kind of a stacked area chart or something like that. But one of the reasons I always go for charts like this, and I like this, is that, you've got the black line here, which kind of shows the overall total, but you've also got the individual lines underneath as well to kind of show what's going on. And, if you're kind of using anything stacked bar charts, stacked area charts and things, you've always got that problem that it's hard to see the individual patterns in the lines because they don't have that common baseline. And so by doing this, it enables me to see the total like you would, but also the individual trends as well. And then just over there on the right-hand side, we've got basically the same chart, but looking at it in terms of percent of total. So we can see, how the proportion of our net worth is changing between those major categories. At the bottom, I've got a simple chart kind of looking at the year-on-year change. I can change that from year-on-year to month-on-month. And again, kind of using those same colors, that same themes kind of coming through. The black line is the total, just to kind of see how the year-on-year and month-on-month change has kind of happened. But I have got a stacked bar chart in there just to kind of see how those are changing on there. It's only secondary, so I don't mind kind of using it here, and we'll see in a moment that one of the advantages I have by kind of having that in there. And then finally, just on the right hand side, just a bit of fun, kind of a forecasting tool that enables me to be able to say, okay, for a figure I want to get to, I'm using Tableau's forecasting that comes out of the box in terms of time series, just to be able to say, okay, if I wanted to look at maybe 4 million, when would I be able to reach 4 million? And so it would be March. When would be 6 million? And so it would be June 28. And so, I could have done something in terms of playing with a parameter to change that value and a draw there. But yeah, I was happy for this just to be able to kind of click on it and see what month tallied and tied in with which value we've got there. The only other thing I've got in here then, other than that, is, and you'll notice I've kind of given some instructions here. You might not be able to read it on your screens, but it says click on the big numbers below to filter the dashboard by that category. And so each of these big boxes here, it actually functions as a way of changing the focus of the dashboard. So if I want to just focus on looking at superannuation, I can click on that box, and then all of the charts below change because now I'm looking at superannuation. So I've got the overall superannuation line, and then it kind of breaks down into each part of the, I guess, kind of the superannuation portfolio. Same for the chart at the bottom, and yeah, again, the year-on-year, the month-on-month that we've kind of got there as well. If I wanted to look at share investments, same thing, bank accounts, other categories, and so on. And I've done a few things here that, I guess kind of help the user, so the client, my wife, understand where she is and what's happening. So you'll note that when I click on the box, I actually make the text of that box bolder and the others kind of lighter. So, I don't need to have anything extra on there to kind of annotate what it is she's clicked on, because she can see that's darker. It kind of draws a bit of attention to it. As well as that, though, just to kind of help with that, I've actually, you noticed I've actually changed the shading of those charts. I've changed the text of those charts, and it's all with that theme. So superannuation is blue, the charts are blue, the lines are blue, and so on. And so again, it just kind of draws your attention. And then the final thing really is just having, kind of the parameterized titles as well, so that it actually, when you read it and you see the subtitles, you see what's going on there as well. I guess just in terms of what's going on here and how I've created that, so there's an awful lot of work going on here with parameters. Parameters are an incredibly powerful tool. Fred speaking about visits earlier. So yeah, visit 2023, I think it was. I actually kind of gave a talk on parameters. I love parameters. They can do so much stuff. They're so flexible. But here, yeah, being able to choose which box I'm doing, whether I'm highlighting it or having it grayed out, is using parameters Also, I'm making use of dynamic zone visibility, which is a really great thing. Again, tied in with parameters, tied in parameter actions, but depending on what I'm choose on, it's populating a parameter. If that parameter is set to true, then it's choosing which charts I'm showing or hiding here as well, because these are all separate charts that are sat here. Okay, and that's, yeah, really all I wanted to do, just a very quick kind of showcase of this, as I say, just to kind of, yeah, encourage you all just to kind of have personal projects to work on stuff, just to try different things. If you've not really used parameters, if you've not really used dynamic zone visibility, then yeah, have a go, have a try. If you did want to have a look at this dashboard and see how I built it, you will find it up on Tableau Public. So feel free to kind of download it and yeah, have a look and have a play.
Cool, thanks. Thanks, Ali. Just continuing with the questions. I can turn the mic on if you have questions.
Yeah, so a question from Chris, actually, he's got there. So how many sheets are on the dashboard? More than 10, Chris.
So all those are individual sheets, are they? Like the trend, all those KPIs, they drive what's underneath. So when you click on...
Yeah, so I mean, if we look here, there's 3 different, for each of these bands, there'll be 3 sheets. Here, there'll be a total 1 for the trends, but also there'll be 1 for the other trends as well. So if I, go back. If I go back to there and I've selected that, then you'll see I've got a superannuation one that's just hidden with that. I've got a, a shares one. They're all using that dynamic zone visibility to be able to have them. So when you're actually building it, you kind of throw them all on top, and then, as I say, use the dynamic zone visibility to be able to hide those. But yeah, so total number of sheets, Chris. Yeah, a few. Like I imagine, yeah. So if there's 5 categories across there with total and whatever, then there'd be 10 sheets just in the middle.
But Andy, provided the data is not too crazy, it's not having an impact on your performance. It loads pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the data is not huge. It's not crazy, but in terms of it, and I'm not 100% sure, but I've kind of heard that if you've got a sheet hidden, it isn't rendering and isn't kind of processing behind the screens if you've got it hidden with dynamic zone visibility. I'm yet to kind of see that kind of, read anywhere that actually is the case, and to see it kind of borne out. I've heard, counter things saying that maybe it is rendering in the background or whatever, but yeah, you can see, how many sheets I've got. They're all not that much, and, you can see it's not actually showing down any performance or anything.
Indeed, there's a question from Yen.
Yeah, sure. So there's actually, under the analysis tool, there's actually kind of a forecast tool here, and you just kind of use the show forecast, and within that you kind of get some forecast options. So if I was, and it's a little while since I've looked at this, but if I was just to throw on dates, and I'll just throw on sum of value. If I wanted to do a forecast on that, number of ways I can do it, but if I go to analysis, and actually forecast is grayed out there, so maybe I actually have to do it. I can't remember. That's awful. But that's where it is. You'd have to look up, but you've got analysis and you've got kind of forecast there. I can't remember how I turn that on. But maybe I do it on there.
Would someone know from the audience? So it's not in the analytics pane on the left, next to that.
Yeah, but it's grayed out again. I've done something wrong in terms of building that. That's doing it. Maybe it's a month. Maybe it's because it's too many data points. That's what it maybe is. So if I go to month, there we go. Yeah, it's too many data points because I was trying to do days. I had to do months. So go to there. I do show forecast. And it's as simple as that. Once you've got the forecast there, you can come to your forecast. You've got your forecast options. You can choose how far forward you want to do it. So let's say I want to extend 5 years. I can choose how I'm aggregating it. Kind of does that. You don't really have to change that. I've got monthly data, so I wouldn't have to change that. You can choose whether to ignore the last data point, which is useful sometimes. So if you're having data that's coming in daily, you might not want to use the current or the last data point for your forecast, because until you get to the last day, it's not a full month, right? So you wouldn't want to use that for a forecast. You can turn that off. And then you've got a forecasting model, and you can do it automatically. You can do it automatic without seasonality, or actually kind of custom. And then you can change between additive and multiplicative for a trend and seasonality as well. So you can actually bring in seasonality. If you've got monthly data that kind of shows seasonality, then it's really great for doing that as well. But lots of flexibility. Yeah, if that's something that's interesting, I'd highly recommend kind of looking at that and seeing what's going on. The out-of-the-box settings are pretty good, but yeah, as I showed, so you can kind of tailor it.
I saw Kamal's comment in the chat. Kamal, if I turn the microphone, you want to explain what you've done quickly? We've got time, so I can put you as presenter if you want to. You're saying that you're just building the dashboard as well, similar to Andy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. I was trying out a personal finance app made in New Zealand. It takes an open banking data feed, so my data from my bank accounts is going safely straight into it, but the dashboards were terrible and weren't showing me. Particularly, I wanted to see how much I was spending on holidays, and it was just getting harder and harder to pull that stuff out. So I took out a CSV file and started building a Tableau dashboard, but I thought, well, I don't want to have to dump a CSV file every time I want to do this, and I noticed they had an API. And I was just amazed. I mean, I did go deeper and deeper, so it probably did end up taking me most of the day. But I reckon within half an hour, I had a working connection just by asking Anthropic Claude to help me with the API. It went and found the app. It found the API. It told me exactly step by step how to do it. It had recommendations on whether I wanted to upload a hyperfile to Tableau or whether I just wanted a CSV file. It was just incredible.
That's pretty cool. Maybe you can demonstrate that at some stage, Kamal, if you want. If people are interested to see how maybe we fake data. We don't want to see you spending.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't bring it up at the moment because it is all the real data. But yeah, sure. I honestly think it was the Python code that was so interesting, and just how well Claude got across what I needed to do.
But the Python generates Tableau file.
Sorry?
The Python code generates the XML file for Tableau with the chart and
No, sorry. The Python code just pulled the data out, and then I just connected. So it's just updating. But then I realized it was getting too much. So, just doing incremental versus that. I did try to find a way that I could have done it all within, bring the Python code inside perhaps Prep Builder. But I decided in the end that wasn't worth it. And it was I just run a cron job on the Python script on my computer every night.
Nice.
I was just going to ask, and I think I know the answer, but just asking, Carmel. So, have you used Python much before?
A bit.
Okay.
I know enough, I think, to be able to work out what's going wrong. But if I'd had to sit and write that all from scratch, I just wouldn't have done it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to make the point, that whole thing that I was just kind of saying before, right, about kind of having personal projects and doing stuff, and you kind of you're learning skills and developing in that way, right? You kind of got this personal project, you're like, okay, let's figure out how we can do it, and you've learned something new by doing that.
Yeah, and it was a great sense of satisfaction when I was my own stakeholder. So when I actually got the numbers out that I wanted, and got really excited and called my husband in to have a look, and he wasn't so excited.
Cool. Thanks for that, Kamal. Asraf, you want to get ready and then share your work? Thank you.
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. And thanks for talking as well, Asraful.
Okay.
We can see your screen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Although everyone's eyes is on the news, so it is a pleasure to see all the Tableau enthusiasts under into the same boat. Thanks all. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to drill down different geographical area from high level to low level in the hierarchy, and how to control the outlier or the border of a region in a map. And this, before I start, I would say this presentation would be helpful for someone who has some basic knowledge how to build a map using Tableau. And yeah, that's it. So recently I was dealing with one of my private clients who was willing to start a new business in Queensland, and he wanted to get a general idea of the Queensland demography. And he asked me if I can help him. So I said, okay, so let's go to Queensland using Tableau. So I built a graph map, which is just the Queensland and with total population. And he said, okay, no, I'm more interested in different statistical area level of Queensland, not just the entire Queensland. And also, he also liked me to remove the background to show the Queensland clearly. I said, okay, let's go to so to remove the outlier, we can go to the map and the background. And especially if I take the base off, then the outlier actually got removed. And if I take all the ticks off, it got removed. Because here it is. Okay. Okay, so the next, to show the statistical area level 4, I drag the statistical area level 4 into the detail so that we can see the different regions in the map. For example, if I hover over the mouse on the Queensland Outback, we can see the population count and the Queensland Outback in here. Likewise, if you are interested in Cairns, Townsville, and many things. But the problem he mentioned was that if when we hover over the mouse on a particular region, the lower level border is distracting and annoying. So he wanted me to remove all those lower level borders. Okay, so I said, okay, yeah, I can do that for you. So I move on to the next thing. Then I said, okay, I can remove the border for you. So what I have done is, on the color section, under the border, I have selected none. So if I select none, there is no border. Okay, so now there are still two problems. One is if I hover over the mouse, then the low level border appears again. So that is again the distraction. And also, if two regions have the same population, then it is difficult to differentiate these two regions, hypothetically. Okay, so now what we can do, I mean, also he wanted to drill down the Asraful level into SF3 level. So if I draw only the SF4 level, there is no way I can drill down into SF3 level. So what I have done is I have dragged the SF3 level into the detail, and now we can see only the SF3 level. So the problem still in there, that is, we only can show the SF3 level population and detail, but we can show the SF4 level if we bring both of them together in the same map. Okay, so to solve this problem, what I have done is I have take the help of QGIS. QGIS is as a application where you can build map, manipulate map, create, delete, or change something on the map. So what I have done is, considering the Queensland region, I have taken the SF3 level border off from the map, original map. So if you can see, the green one has border, but the cane one, I mean, this one has no border of the SF3 level. Okay. So then I built So then I built this, this map. So this is the new geometry with the lower level border off. See, if when I have dragged it down into the on the card, then we can see that under the Queensland outback, there is no lower level border in it. None of them has the lower level border. So we can select a single region and we can see the detail of that region. Okay, so now the next question was how to drill down from high level to lower level. That's the last, another question. So then I previously I made one map with the lower level as a 3 level, Then I bring both of them into the dashboard, and I have taken the title off. Now in the action tab, dashboard action, I have selected the Asraful as a filter, and the action is on the SS3 level. And obviously, whenever we clean the sheet, then we need to select the exclude all values. So what I mean by that is, if I select a particular area, it will drill down into the SS3 levels. And if I click on the outside the map, then the whole map will appear. So that's how you can, if you can see both the SFO level on a single map, on a single dashboard, and if you are interested in the lower level of hierarchy in the SF3 level, for example, if I click on Townsville, then it will bring up the old SF3 level area under Townsville and the detail as well, and the legend as well. So that's actually solved the problem. My client was happy to see that, and that's how I have done this. And one more thing is, if someone is interested not coloring the area under a region, just to see the border, the color the border only, then there is an interesting option, function in Tableau, which is the outline, which only works on geometry. So if I create a calculated field like outline geometry, and if I bring it into the marks layer, then you'll be able to see a layer, a border has been created around the Asraful level. So now you can change the color of the border. You can give it any color if you like. And also if you can resize the border, you can make it thicker or you can make it thinner. So that's how you can control the border of a map. And also, if you are interested to color the border by Asraful regions, you can bring the Asraful into the color. So you can see different region has now a different color. And it also works with the measure, not only the dimension, also measure as well. So if I bring the population count into color, and you can see the population with high number of population has a deeper color, and the low number of population has a lighter color. And the same outline control, making thicker, thinner, changing color, everything is still in there. So you can apply something like that. Okay, and yeah, so that's how I solved the problem, and try to make my client happy. Yeah, that's it. So so if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thanks, Asraf. I think when you shared your workbook, we couldn't see the pop-up windows with the calculations and the color palette. You know, when you click on something.
In the calculation.
Yeah, I was keen to see the calculation for the outline because I've never heard about this one before. I've never tried, but I think that's when you share your screen in Bevy. You might have chosen window as opposed to whole screen or something like this. Do you mind trying it?
So is my screen Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, but if you edit that calculation, we can see the calculation.
Okay, because I'll just go and highlight this calculation, which is
we can't see the window. I think you have to stop sharing and then
Oh.
reshare, but sharing entire screen, not just window. And
okay.
then because
okay,
we
yeah,
can't see
understand.
can't see the calculation window, right?
Yeah, I got it. I got the point. So I will go back to the
Yeah, I
and
think if you stop share and do it
sharing
again, but share the window or the screen, the screen.
with the entire screen.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Share, and going back to my. Now is okay now?
And now open this one again, please. Yeah, now we can see it.
Here it is.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, I was wondering. I've never seen that online option before function, so I'm gonna try that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the outline is the option. Yeah.
Any questions? I'm happy to include people as presenters or moderators or whatever presenters, so people can just talk. I think it's a pretty casual group. I'm just putting self as presenters. Now we can have a quick chat. Thanks, Asraful. I think that was really good.
Thank you, everyone.
It's good to share those techniques. Presenter. I'm going to stop recording anyway. Any questions? I think I've added you all. I think. So I think in terms of agenda, we're done with the content. But if